Welcome to Heal Healthy Habit, where we talk all things healing through the power of God. And this is part 2 of my spiritual awakening. Okay, so where I left off on part 1, I think I was talking about the actual experience when it all started. I felt like I said, I went from 100% high to 100% aware. And I said that my inner voice told me, let me guide you and you do not depart. And I did just that. So I'm just doing regular stuff in the house, like regular stuff, just regular shit. I'm washing clothes, getting my kids ready for the night, having them set up for their baths and stuff like that. I said my mom's down there with her brother because he brought the phone that day, so they down there kicking it, they talking. And me not knowing what I just walked into, I'm thinking I'm high. But as the experience kept going on, I knew like this is God. And later on, I realized like that was a test. That was a test, and you passed. I passed, but it was a test. It was a test, and I'm forever grateful for it. Because it was the best thing I've ever experienced in my life. Aside from it's up there with giving birth to my kids. And I ain't gonna lie, I'm gonna put that one above giving birth because that shit hurt. But it was crazy. So like I said, I was getting literally spiritual downloads from the heavens. God and the spiritual realm, they were guiding me through the house and really passing down messages to me for me to grasp the message in what I was doing in order for me to move it through the test and to pass this test. So I'm not going to sit here and tell y'all every little single thing that I did in this test, in this spiritual test. But what I will tell you is the messages that I pulled from this test. I seen, like I told you, I have 2 kids. And I told y'all in the previous video that I got into it with my sister and I went to jail and all that. Told y'all about that. I seen me and my youngest child. I seen my sister and my oldest child. And then I also see myself and my mother. So the message in that was, the message that God was giving me the downloads, the message in that was me seeing myself and seeing my sister and seeing myself and my mom. The message in that was, you have to break this generational curse. And if you don't, your son, he's going to have the same trauma that you have, and he's going to resent you when he becomes older. Your daughter, she gonna not even talk. She's not even going to talk to you. She's going to depart from you completely. And you're going to turn into your mother. Not saying she's a bad person, but you're going to become what you resented so much if you don't get this right now. Like, I was literally seeing me as a kid in real time through my kids and seeing how the cycle started and seeing the fact that where I am right now, my mom once was. And if I don't get my shit together right now, if I don't walk on that straight path, it ain't gonna be a narrow path, because you know what I'm saying, you're gonna get pulled in different directions. But if I don't walk on the path of God and righteousness, you're gonna repeat the cycle all over. I literally was seeing this in real time, and when I say it was an outer body experience, I was walking through the house crying. My mom and my uncle downstairs like, you good? I'm like, no, I took 2 edibles. I'm just telling them this because I don't want them to know what I'm going through. I'm thinking I'm going crazy. And y'all might be like, well, maybe it was just high off the edibles. Maybe it was just listen, what was that? What was that? Oh, jeez. Y'all might be like, maybe it was just high off the edibles. It was just the edibles. You know how many edibles I ate in my lifetime? I know what being high off edibles is, and I know what I experienced. And I never in my life experienced nothing like this. So the next message I got out of my mama, a hoarder. She hoard. I wish I could turn this camera around and show y'all. I got this room together because this is where we at. This is one of the rooms we in, so I got the room together. But she's a hoarder. The message that I got from her hoarding out of this scenario was also, you're gonna end up just like that if you keep the depression going. If you keep holding on to past trauma. That's what the message was out of her hoarding. Like, every box in this house, every bag you see, that's baggage that she carried from a past situation that she was supposed to let go of, and she did not. I was literally mind blown. Like, how, I wish I could give it to y'all how he gave it to me, baby, but I'm human. I'm only human. You know what I'm saying? I got flesh just like y'all. The way he gave it to me, though, you got to get in that Bible to experience something like this. But I'm just telling y'all what I went through and how, and the messages that I got out. Because I can't give it to you how he gave it to me. That right there, yeah, I can't do his job. I could just convey a message. But that's what I said I was getting spiritual downloads. That's another message I got out of it. You can't keep holding on to that past trauma. It's gonna eat you alive. Literally, you're gonna get swallowed up in your house. The way that she's hurting, you're gonna end up like that if you don't get your life together. Another message I got out of it. I know I told y'all that I have a sister. She has cerebral palsy and autism. I've been so angry over the past years. Me and my sister 5 years apart, and we was like this growing up. Disability and all. I love my sister dearly. Get more downloads during the whole experience. Mind you, this was like over a 2-hour span. So, the messages I got out of it when it came to my sister was that your anger and resentment for your mother, you're letting it spill over into the relationship that you have with your sister. And I would always wonder, like, why when I come over here, she trying to hit me and stuff like that. And I literally bust out crying, and I came out my mouth, and I was like, Kyra, there's nothing wrong with you. I love you. Like, it was so crazy, y'all. It was crazy. Okay, so to like wrap the whole experience up, it gets crazier because I had another spiritual awakening within a 2-week time span. So this gonna be a 3-part series about my spiritual awakening. However, I'm gonna wrap this one up and tell y'all like I would say the completion of the spiritual awakening. I got all of the messages that I needed to get out of it. God basically told me what I needed to do moving forward. Gave me it was like a blueprint. Literally downloaded. I ain't had to put no flash drive in. I ain't had to download nothing literally, I ain't had to download no PDF or nothing. It literally was like it was sent down from the heavens and downloaded spiritually, embedded into my brain. And it was like I knew exactly what I needed to do. Like I said, I feel like I was in the land of the knowing. Like I just knew everything. Not everything about the world, but I'm just saying everything about what I had going on, everything about the past, present, and future. I feel like it was all just smacking me in the face at once. I feel like I knew everything, literally. So like I was saying, the completion of the spiritual awakening, I'm going to just give y'all this bit, because I'm not going to give y'all the word for word, bar for bar, what my kids said during the experience, because everybody that was in the house played a role in my spiritual awakening, whether they knew it or not. I don't think they knew it, but everybody played a role. Even in the things that they were saying at the time, even in the, you know what I'm saying? So I even had an audience. Y'all, this is the craziest thing. I even had an audience. And I'm not talking about like outside or the people in the house. I'm talking about in my head. I was literally hearing like people clapping and cheering. When people say you well respected in the spiritual realm, they not lying about stuff like that. I actually experienced it when I was completion. Like I said, I got several messages out of this experience. Every time I completed a level of the spiritual awakening, or I got when I was doing whatever I was doing and I got the message out of what I was doing, and God gave me that check mark, I heard people cheering. I know I sound crazy. I sound crazy, but this is literally what happened. I heard people cheering. And then, honestly, when I was I even got a message out of the spiritual awakening of, you have to stop caring about what people think. Because it was a part in the spiritual awakening where I was going through the motions of doing whatever I was doing, and I heard like people hitting on their horns, boo, boo. I don't care if y'all say I'm crazy in the comments, because baby, I know what I experienced. But the message I got out of that was you need to keep focusing on the task at hand. Cause this is a test. You gonna fail your test cause you hear people born, cause you hear naysayers. That was the message I needed out of that. Cause I'm the type of person I always care about what somebody think I prayed that about me. And I passed that test. That's why I'm on YouTube right now. Cause I don't care what nobody think. Nah, I'm gonna do what I see best and what I need, and when I know it's best for me, what God told me is best for me. I'm going to walk the path God told me I need to walk. And if you're not a believer, then you shouldn't be on this channel anyway. Hello? Hello, somebody? Okay, boom. So that happened. So back to the conclusion of this first spiritual awakening, because I had to. Like I said, it's going to be a 3-part story. When I completed all of my tasks, I got all of my messages and spiritual downloads that God was trying to have me receive. The last part of this spiritual awakening, God was telling me, you need to pack up. You elevating. You're going to the next level. I threw away my makeup. I threw away a lot of shit that I did not need. I threw the edibles away. And that's how I know I was experiencing something that God told me, you don't need these. You don't need them. I threw the edibles away. I threw my makeup away. I'm on here barefaced. I would never, beat my face down to the gods. But God told me you don't need that. You can't care about what these people think. How do you feel about you? I love you. You need to love you. You know what I'm saying? And the last thing that broke me down in this experience, me and my son was having a conversation. I'm not going to tell y'all word for word, bar for bar, but what I will tell y'all, the last thing that my son said that basically marked me off with an A of completion in this test that God presented to me. My son said, he said, Mommy, did you let the animals free? When my son said that, I automatically knew what he was talking about. Like this test, the test that God presented in front of me was simply, it was centered around breaking the generational curse. The relationship that me and my mom had, the relationship that her and her mom had. Working like a dog, not spending time with your kids, not, you know what I'm saying, being in these toxic relationships, breaking the generational curses that have been bestowed upon me. And I knew that I completed and I leveled up when my son said, Mommy, did you let the animals free? And I broke down crying. It was that deep and that intense. And I just felt like I needed to share that with somebody, because when I say my chest was tightening up the whole time, my chest was like I could barely breathe. It was a beautiful experience. It was hard, but it was beautiful. It was beautiful because I needed it. And like I said, I'm going to be forever grateful to the Most High for even allowing me to experience something like that. Because trust me, many don't. But you open that Bible, God will let you know what you need to do and how you need to do it, baby. I'm letting you know now. Take it from me. If I'm lying, I'm dying, baby. Take it from me. But what we're going to talk about in the next video and the last part to my spiritual awakening journey, I'm pretty sure on my journey with God, I'm going to have plenty more. I'm pretty sure that I'm going to go through more trials and tribulations. I'm going to go through more elevation with God. But this part right here, this is a little 3-part story time, I guess, story time of my spiritual awakening. But in part 3, everything, we're going to talk about the last final step. Everything was good for a minute with me and my mama after this happened. I hugged everybody, I kissed everybody, told them I loved them. I was doing good for a couple weeks. We got into it again. She called the police. And I ain't go to jail. I ain't go to jail this time either. Girl, they took me to a shelter. I said, girl, like you my homegirl. They took me to a shelter. And the experience that I had at this shelter, this was the icing on the cake. This was the icing on the cake, huh? It got even crazier. But I made my way back home. Y'all see I'm back home. But the events that led up to getting back home, we're going to talk about that in part 3. So, I thank y'all for tuning in, and I hope to see y'all in part 3. All right, y'all have a good one. See y'all next video.